David Freddoso, the Washington Examiner, has been covering at least one of these town hall meetings, and the one that occurred in St. Louis. David, thanks for being with us today.
Hi, Fred. Thanks for having me.
Tell us what you know about what happened in this town hall meeting in St. Louis.
Well, now, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch is reporting that 6 people were arrested. One of them was actually one of their journalists for the Post-Dispatch who the police said got in the way. But what happened, apparently, is that several supporters of President Obama's health care plan, and in fact there is a video, and they appear to be members of the Service Employees International Union, the SEIU, threw a racial epithet at a black conservative who was there passing out Gadsden flags, you know, the "Don't Tread on Me" flags, and attacked him physically. And he talked to the paper from the emergency room, saying that there doesn't seem to be any free speech in this country without getting attacked. And what's kind of interesting is that the White House, just yesterday, the Deputy Chief of Staff, Jim Messina, said that encouraged the Democrats to punch back twice as hard, were his exact words. And the same day, we have this attack on town hall protester.
There was also a piece, the Huffington Post, that said that the administration was getting ready to activate union members to confront the protesters.
Yes, and you know, it's really interesting to see how these plans work out. I mean, now, to be sure, I think that at some of these town halls that have been written about and talked about, the protesters have been very civil and confronting their congressman, and others they've been a bit rude. But there haven't been any incidents of violence or anything of that sort until now. When the
if you want to see that, you're going to have to go to major college campuses when conservatives try to speak.
Well, in fact, you may recall as recently as 2005, there were protesters doing basically the same things at Republican members as they were promoting Social Security reform for President Bush. This was going on. I think the last time I was on your show, Fred, I pointed out the similarity between President Obama and his health plan and President Bush as he was trying to promote the Social Security reform plan. And here's yet another parallel, which is that you have a lot of people showing up angry at town hall meetings that the president's party is holding to promote the president's agenda. You may be looking at sort of a reverse of 2006 possibly, because people are genuinely upset, and I think the president has really failed to address their concerns. His press conference with the red pill, blue pill pretty much skirted all the issues people are worried about, like cost and quality of care. He goes around repeating a lot of talking points, and people are just fed up with hearing the same thing and not getting any real answers about it.
Exactly. I think the difference between the protesters in 2005 and now is that with regard to the media, back then the story was the protest.
Yeah.
Now the story is the protesters.
Yes. I think that's exactly right. It's pretty odd to see the Speaker of the House calling these people Nazis or saying that they're carrying swastikas around, and other people basically demonizing dissent, which until recently I thought was patriotic.
Well, they've clearly decided to turn the dogs loose on these folks. Anybody who watches these clips, and of course we're just seeing, as you point out, there are meetings all over the country. Most of them are not eventful. Most of them are not even rude. It's just like anything else. You get different people, different folks, and different kinds of meetings, different places. But one thing they seem to all have in common, regardless of where they are, is that they're concerned about this health care bill. And you're not gonna see these other kind of meetings on television. But the lawyer for this fellow that you just described who got beat up says that his client was punched in the face by one of these SEIU members. Said they had on T-shirts. They didn't care if people knew who they were. Another yelled racial epithets at the man and kicked him in the head and the back was also brutally attacked by one other SEIU member and an unidentified woman. And the man, of course, was taken to the hospital and was severely injured. So that's been the response. That's been the response to these protests. We just played a clip, and yet the media focuses in on the conservative cabal that is going on there. I was on CNN today, and of course that's all they wanted to talk about is, will the conservatives apologize for, being rude to John Dingell and so forth. But this is an amazing story, and I think it's going to be another black chapter for the media.
But, the White House is really working overtime to portray these protests as though they're all being organized by some insurance company. And, and they point to the fact that some groups like Freedom Works have sent emails to supporters telling them to get out. But
yeah, got to go, David.